Man. Hello, testing. Just wanted to say the Zelda songs always hit. Just wanted to say, but hello, welcome. What's up? Hello, Rhapsody. You're always so early. Welcome. Alright. Just a second. Hair? Could be better, but it's okay. We tried. Hello, anime. Welcome. Welcome back, everybody. Well. Here is another week, another day, another dime, another dollar. Welcome back. And yeah, I'm still trying to get in the groove of things. But let me know if the audio is okay, if I need to turn it up, need to turn it down. Let me know. And yeah, what do I want to do today? Let's see. What have we done this week? We've made considerable productive progress this week, but not gonna lie, guys. Something about work. Something about work in general. When it doesn't feel like drawing anymore and it feels like I need to work, I need to get this drawing done because it's work, I need to get shit done. I can't just spend more time on a drawing now just because it's a drawing, but it's becoming like work. I'm probably just babbling here, but yep, that's how I've been feeling this week. And I'll show you guys a quick recap. Wait, can you draw somebody kissing? Anyway, where did that come from? But yeah, I can. I think I've drawn it multiple times. With like my characters and other characters and stuff like that. But you know what? I actually feel a bit. I don't know how to put this without it sounding creepy and all that. I actually don't like to draw kissing. That's not true. That's not entirely true. I like drawing kissing, but I don't want to draw it often. Something about kissing, guys. It's probably to me the most intimate thing a character can do to another character, right? Like you got so many types of ways to show intimacy. You got hand grabbing, you got waist grabbing, you got hugging, you got hip patting, all that shit, right? But kissing is where I sometimes draw the line. It takes a lot for me to draw a character's kissing. I don't know why. It's like that meme. Do you guys know that meme? Oh my god. There's this like two-person thinking. One is like hee 18 plus stuff, which is technically easier for me to draw compared to someone thinking about pure thoughts like just hand holding and whatnot. Let me try to look for it. Damn it. How do I even type for a meme like that? I have it on my phone, but I don't have it on my iPad. But yeah, just know it's the same idea as that meme where there's two types of people in this world, right? The one kind that's like more pure and innocent, and it's just like, oh, people kissing and then blushes and whatnot. And then there's the other type where it's like thinking about 18 plus stuff and it's like blushing. And I'm usually the other one because I find kissing to be too intimate sometimes, and I can't get like, oh, I can't do that shit, bro. Lamau, same. I just think it's hard to draw somebody kissing. I think it's hard because, well, one thing, right? There's the anatomy. If you don't have like good side view face anatomy, then that's just it. The other thing would just be that it's very hard to capture the emotion and the intimacy from kissing. Also, hi Chainsaw. Starting with the topic already, hell yeah. But I will show you a little snippet of someone kissing that I draw recently. It was for a comic, and the main point of that comic wasn't meant to be the kissing. It's just the main point was that he could see thoughts, and he didn't know he could see thoughts, and his thoughts happened to just be them kissing and stuff. Let me look for it. It was my recent comic, actually. It's a bit gay. I don't know how to say it. It's a bit gay, but this is basically it. I was just like doing this comic, and I was like thinking, what if they can see each other? What if the blonde guy, Lauren, can see his thoughts, and his thoughts just happen to be this, and then it was just like a little comic gag. It's not canon. If my characters started reading each other's thoughts, my entire story would be cut into half. Like, that's just it, bro. Death Note? What? Ain't hard, just need some good reference. True, if you have good reference. I usually don't use references for kissing. I think once you have the basic, or you draw long enough and you have like the basic anatomy of a side wheel down, like when to lower the angle, when to raise the angle, then you kind of have the kissing done. And what's left is just, do you want tongue or not, right? But yeah, that's basically how I think about kissing. How I think about characters kissing. Gotta make sense to me. If a character is gonna kiss another character, they better be like this. They better be sealed, you know. They better be like, oh shit, I really really like this guy or this girl and whatnot. I gotta see the chemistry first before you show me the ultimate intimacy seal. I don't know why I did that. That was weird. Anyway, moving on. We had art jam this weekend, and someone suggested to draw our OCs or just draw like Avatar The Last Airbender, Atla. I'm gonna call it Atla, okay? To draw Atla inspired characters. And I got to draw Lauren in it, which I was really happy because, I mean, I don't get to draw him in other instances often, so these like little challengers are nice. So I got to draw my OC Lauren, basically the same blonde guy from just now. I get to draw him as the Fire Nation. Yes, sir. So yeah. Also, thank you, Zira. Thank you. But yeah, I really really like this drawing. The pose came to me first. At first I was like, do I want to give him a Shaolin type pose, because that's what they do in Atla, right? They bend the elements with a pose, but I was like, I don't want to do a whole ass pose, too much effort. So I was like, alright, let me just look for like a face card pose, and then we decided on this one. That was really fun. And actually, let me show you guys the other people's art they did for Atla. It was really cool too. It was like, we did like a whole thing. It was really fun. We have skits with his OC waterbending. Very cool. Skits is trying to do. He was the host actually for the art jam, and he was trying to do like a manga art style. He's basically very into manga art styles right now, so it's very good for him. I've honestly, he improved a lot. I've known Skits for like, I think he's been in art jam for like 3 years now, and he's improved a lot. And then we got Boya, the goat, as usual. Still trying to finish mine slow. It's okay, Rhapsody. But I'm planning to post it next week. So if you can finish it by next week, I would like to post yours too. But yeah, this is Boya's. OC's also the Fire Nation. She got a little gag comic over here saying, holy, a walking microwave. Nice. So cute. And the post is so good. That was what I was thinking for my character. I was like thinking, do I want to do a Shaolin pose? But I was like, it's too much work. But boy, I managed to do it, so I'm really proud of her as well. And then we got Telt. I don't know. I think this is supposed to be his character, Betty, but she's bald here. And then he just drew her farting, which is so cute. But as y'all know, this is Aang if he was gender bent and if he farts instead of wind bending. So yeah. And then we have Pebble drawing the Cabbage Man from Atla. Just water bending, which is so cool as well. Honestly, Pebble really served here. I'm not gonna lie. Pebble really just made the cabbage guy look really, really cool. And then we have Elias's character for Earth. Actually, I didn't see a lot of characters they did for Earth element, so it was really nice. Elias was doing the Earth one. And then we have Jess, as her caption was not Aang. I don't know who she's trying to draw, but she's basically drawing a character that is from the Wind Nation, so monk, and looks like Aang, but she said not Aang. And then Pebble also drew a chibi version of the Cabbage Man. So cute. But yeah, that was Art Jam last week, and if you're interested to join us and draw together every weekend, as every Sunday, feel free to check out the link in my description. I have the link to my Art Jam Discord in the link. Also, hi Ace, welcome. Those weren't my drawings, by the way. Those were from my Art Jam Discord drawing. Again, we do it every weekend, so if you would like to join us and draw together, this was what I drew for the Art Jam last week. It was a Avatar The Last Airbender theme, and yeah. Also, hi Yerin, welcome. I was just showing everyone the last Art Jam that we did. What? Read the comments? What's happening? What comments? Also, did I say hi to Alex? Hi Alex, welcome to the stream. But yeah. I just saw another drawing that I did this week. Another drawing that I'm hoping to finish this week. Work. This one is a bit work now, but it was fun. The idea started out really, really fun. I was really, really excited when I was on the idea, but now it's like, I gotta finish it now because I have to post it soon and stuff like that. I'm trying to do a gender bend comic, okay? I'm trying to see what would happen if my OCs got gender bent and they meet each other for the first time. So this is also what I'm trying to do. It's like a 5-page comic. Basically, the male versions of themselves meet the female versions of themselves. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I can finish it by this week. But this is just a little preview of what's going on. I quite like the idea of this. It's so like cute to show a different side of them. I'm really interested, and oh my god, I even drew this and stuff. Like I was like doing the gender bend versions of themselves interacting with that. I was like, it was like I don't know. It was I thought it was cool in the moment, but I'm not sure. We'll think about it. But yeah, that's what I need to finish this week. What I need to decide and finish this week. And I saw another drawing. Do I want to show this? Okay, I'll just show the SFW version. I made an NSFW version, but it's not that NSFW. It's just like a little peek of something. I drew the gender bend version of them. It's the woman, the Yuri version of them. I really, really liked it. I think it's really cute. I don't know. I quite liked it. I can't wait to finish it. But yeah, this is definitely another thing I need to finish. What else? Yesterday. Let's talk about yesterday. I was in school yesterday again. I go to German school now. Also, hi Boya, welcome. Too tired to join. All the art is so cool. I saw them on the Discord, right? I was too tired to join, even though I thought it was such a cool idea. You can still join. You can still draw and post it if you like. No need to join us. Doesn't have to be on Art Jam that you post the art. You can just draw it after Art Jam, as long as it was there, yeah? Gender band is really sticking, huh? Was sticking last week, but now it's becoming work. Was how I differentiate these, like, this is so fun, to like work. What happens is usually every week I get a new idea to do something, and last week's idea was to do the gender bend thing with Boya. Boya's here. I wanted to make an interaction of BL meeting GL version, but too tired to do it. It's okay, Boya. I think after the con, Boya, you can consider doing it because it's actually quite fun. I just showed them the comic of them potentially meeting and what they would say to each other, and I think female Lauren is so sassy, and I like her a lot more than I thought I did, because she gives like such Regina Mean Girls vibe, and I love it. So yeah, it's really interesting. And the comic just sort of became about them flirting with each other, like low key. Because what else would their character do, right? Like, I think Lauren's character is just like they're always like trying to one size each other up, especially if you have two very strong personality. I think that's just like a natural thing. Also, hi Lo, hi Tal. You should study. Hi Naruto, study what? Also, hi Darshu, welcome, thank you. Yuri indeed. I was just gonna say Lauren is so sassy. Lauren, okay. There, I had more emotions last week going through whatever this was. Okay, I don't know how to say it. I find it extremely hot. Not to sound like a complete gooner or whatever. I found it extremely hot when even female Lauren was interacting with Theo. And I just don't know why. I was just like, she's not doing anything here. She's just like pinching his cheeks. But I thought it was like, whoa, that unlocked a chakra or something in me. I cannot lie. So that was last week. Last week was filled with gender bend emotions. This week I had to move on from it, unfortunately. This week I was well, first of all, I was very happy with the whole Atla thing. I just showed the stream, by the way, the Discord, our Discord Atla submissions. But yeah, this week I was very like into this, and I had to finish the recently posted comic, which is them just them reading minds, thinking about something. So that was what I had to do this week. But yeah, it seems that every week I have to it's not that I have to constantly think of something new, it's just that I keep like get fixated on something new every week. And then when that happens, the initial ideas for the comic that I haven't finished ended up becoming like, oh, it's a new week, I haven't posted, I should really post this. And then what started out as like a fun idea of like drawing like and then just because like, okay, it's not that fun anymore because now I actually just have to get it finished and post it. Otherwise, like, yeah, then it's nothing. So yeah, that was a lot. I said a lot. I don't remember. Pia looks good. Yeah, a diva. Yeah, right. They all look good. That's the thing. They all look good, and I love this dynamic. I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna see after I post the gender bend thing how people feel about it, because I know it would be very hard to use the hashtag yaoi after I post the gender bend thing, because then it's not yaoi anymore. But I'll see. I'll see what people think about it. So far, I see that people really like the recent comic that I posted, which again, it's just a mini gag comic of them reading each other's mind. And yeah, like the whole, again, if we talk about hashtags strictly, like it's always been the BL and yaoi hashtags for these two, okay? So I don't know what hashtags to put for the gender bend thing. I'll probably still do it, but we'll see. But I just want to mention what hashtag gets me exposed is usually the BL and yaoi hashtag. So there you go. You wanna do yaoi BL? Feel free to use those hashtags. They're actually quite helpful, and they put me on the map sometimes. It's very fun. Cause you like women. I think I just like the fact that Lauren, female version of Lauren, was interacting with Theo in a way maybe male version Lauren couldn't. And I was like, what? What? He can do that? She can do that? And I was like, yeah, that was it. She looks Russian, like mafia princess or something, right? I think I like the fact that she's tall. Like female Lauren is tall. That's the main thing about her. And then I retained most of her features to look a bit more like a bit model-ish, because well, male Lauren also low-key looks like that. So it ended up becoming like a whole, yeah, a whole thing. And she looks mature here for sure. So yeah. Also, hi Tanya. ¿Cómo está? Damn, I don't know Spanish. Hair slish will come, and I'll just use my German then. How do you draw manga? Man, you just like tall ladies. We all do. Hee. Can you blame us? I think most guys, we did a gender bend. We did a gender bend thing with Art Jam as well, but it wasn't during Art Jam. We did it for like we did it for fun. No, wait, it was Art Jam. Tout hosted a gender bend Art Jam, and let me show you guys. I mean, I already showed it. Oh no, it wasn't a. It wasn't Art Jam. I did it last stream. My mind is slipping. Last stream, last week, we did a gender bend. We did the gender bend thing together, and I already showed you guys what you guys did last time, but I'll show it to you guys again. And I think everyone was pleasantly surprised, right? Like you guys, this is one of Tout's OC. They used to be girls, so he draws Yuri exclusively, but this time we did the gender bend thing. We said, let's do a Yaoi and Yuri swap. And then he made, oh my god, he looks so good here. Betty as a guy and Natasha, he calls him Benny and Nort. I don't know how to say that, Tom, but they look so good here. And I think you guys just like, right? Once you know the character well enough, no matter how you draw them, like as a furry, as a guy, gender bend, Yuri, Yaoi, they're just gonna look good. And this was OC's from Boya. She draws Yaoi exclusively, and then we said, well, us Yaois have to draw Yuri now, and she did just that. She did her OCs into Yuri, she gender bent them, Denise, Adria, and we also had from Asher, who also gender bent their OCs, and then we had Chainsaw gender bend his OCs, basically from Muscle Man to Muscle Mommy. And I think the verdict I got from this challenge, so here you go, this is from Yerin's original BL. I mean, not BL, right? They're not BL, but they're just like her original guy OCs. And then she gender bent them to girls. So hot. I mean, she's hot. So, man, maybe I have a thing for power women. I have no idea. And then this is just gender bending her OCs. This is the after gender bend. And the before looks like this. So yeah, it was really fun last week. I actually had a lot of fun. and I made Tahir smash and pass them. And Tahir, if I can speak for all men, maybe not all men, but most men, is that most guys want to see more muscular women in Yuris, or just like just like muscular women in general. They love it. They absolutely love it. And I can't blame them. Maybe I just like women taller, not necessarily muscular. So I still don't know. But just know female Lord did something. That's all. Anyway, let's move on. Oh no! I just read boys' comment. Someone said my GLOC have more chemistry than BL. Ah, that's not true, but maybe you can't blame them. They look so lovey-dovey in the GL version, boy. I can't blame them, to be honest. They look really, really like happy. Boy, they look happy in the GL version. And honestly, this is kind of looking the same for me. I think at first I made Theo female version, Tina, a bit more innocent, and they look like they could be happier too. I don't know. What is it with us and making Doom yaoi? I have no idea anymore. Maybe it's a me problem. She's doing something, she's aura farming. Oh my god. GLT sounds better, does it? YLT coming, GLT coming. GLT is Grilled Lettuce Tomato Academy, guys. You hear it here first. Nah, I still like BLT. BLT rolls off the tongue better. GLT, it's also good, but I mean, it's canon in the story. The boys' school sits next to the girls' school in the story, and the girls' school is called GLT Academy. So it's lore accurate. GLT confirmed gay con lettuce and tomato. Eating having a break though. Go now. Bye bye. Oh no. Bye bye anime. I see Yuri. We did Yuri. Yes, we did gender bend together. Nico. That was from my last stream actually. Also, Noisy Boy, you work out not as much as I should. Not a lot. Not anymore. I think I lost my muscles. Let's see. I mean, it doesn't show. It can barely show. Never mind. Not as much as I would like to, but I can lift my dumbbells. Not dumbbells. The fuck is that thing called? The bars. I can lift like. How much am I lifting now? I'm lifting 7.5 kilo on each side. So that goes up to about 15 kilos. Don't know what the fuck they are in pounds. Just know I can lift 15 kilos. And I can probably do even more. I can add more weights, but right now I'm stuck between 15 kilos. Also, my OCs are only happy in AUs, never in the original. What is up with that, right, gang? I mean, probably same. I think that's what's looking like for my OCs. Yuris tend to be more wholesome from what I've observed. But you know, that's the funniest. The funniest thing is, just recently I saw a video of someone critiquing on YouTube. I mean, it just randomly got recommended to me, saying how there is no happy lesbian relationships. And they made an interesting point. They do exist, but there's also a lot more unhappy lesbian relationships in popular media tropes and whatnot. And then, of course, they brought Arcane into it. They brought, they really, really liked, which one did they like? Adventure Time. They liked Marceline. And then, who else did they talk about as well? For lesbian tropes, lesbian relationships. There was one really toxic one they didn't like. Anyway, it was just a video I saw 3 days ago about someone saying, why are there no happy couples in lesbian relationships? So there you go. It's apparently it's not just yaoi. I think yuri sometimes suffer from the doomed yuri yaoi trope. All the same, I think for whatever reason, all these relationships suffer either way. Doesn't matter. My comic is GXT as well. Mission accomplished. Nice. Not sure I actually watched. Not sure I'd actually eat a grilled lettuce tomato sandwich. It's not that bad. I think the concept of a grilled lettuce isn't that bad. I don't know why you guys can't get behind it. Not stereotyping, but most women I know tend to express emotions better than men. I mean, for sure. I totally agree. I don't think it's a stereotype to assume that. I think women just are naturally more able to get in touch with their emotions and have more values aligned with like being in a community. And being in a community also means getting in touch with your emotions, stuff like that. I don't know what I just said, but don't quote me on it. Waiting on the return of Jack Yuuning. She's never coming back. She let go in winter. Just saying, okay. But she can lift 15 kilos. Not too bad. I go 15 reps. Not too bad. Yeah. Really strong. I'm gonna work out better after the car. I'm guilty of that. I mean, I also walk a lot lately because I go to school, and it usually takes me like 45 minutes to get to school, and that's 20 minutes on the train, and the rest of the, actually 30 minutes on the train. The rest of the way is like 20 minutes, 15 minutes of walking. So to and from, I at least get like 30 minutes of walking a day. It's much more healthier than I used to be. Back then, I just stayed at home a lot, but at least I would be more conscious about what I ate because I wasn't moving as much, or I would eat less, I would fast more, and I would try to work out more. But I've let go a little bit these days because classes have disrupted my schedule and I get hungry at night, so I eat before bedtime. Anyway, let's work on something. Let's work on something while I'm yapping. Let's get something done. Also, I'm not sure if I want to show. Actually, never mind. I don't want to show it. I was gonna show the police sketch I did of Talp and skits, but I think that should just stay in Discord instead. I'll work on the Yuri now, I guess. While I talk to you guys. Also, hi, can't say your name, but welcome. I think women are able to express emotions better because most of them don't grow up being told, be a man, don't cry, toughen up like men do. That's true. I think we get different types of feedbacks when we have emotions, for sure. So who's more toxic? Where was I? I was actually working on this during class. It was very, very risky yesterday. But I actually made a lot of progress during class. I find that I can be quite productive during class. But that is, of course, if the teacher doesn't call on me a lot. But yeah, it was nice that I was able to I was able to reline this. Basically, I relined the line art and I was able to put flat colors on them. And pretty much I did most of the work at this point. I feel like I don't need to look at this until I'm about to post now, because the next step after this is just highlight and shadow, and I don't usually want to spend that much time on it. So I will do the gender bank comic instead, where I just color them, because coloring is very brain dead. So No more muscle mommy for Tahir. Maybe she'll come back someday. I don't know. I cried a lot as a young boy. Did 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 you were you told not to, or you were allowed to? What's the wording? Because Tahir told me he wasn't allowed to. Even hetero romance, and guess what? Tahir told me he wasn't allowed to as a kid, or at least the situations don't allow him to do it, and now he's going to therapy for it just to go cry. So take that how you see it, but just know that you keep someone's emotions bottled up long enough, it's fucking therapy in adulthood, okay? It has to come out one way or the other. It has to come out one way or the other way, okay? It has to come out. Even hetero romance has toxic romance genre too, for sure. That's why I think I wanted to retract my statement, who's more toxic. I think they're all toxic. I think some people are just toxic, so they make toxic stories, but that's not necessarily always a bad thing. I think sometimes people just shouldn't romanticize the toxicity of those relationships, but you know, at the day of this age, everything is just like up to perception and how you view it. And you know, who am I to judge, right? It's art, it's media. You can choose to read it, you can choose to drop it. You have you have the control, okay? Didn't cry as a kid because my brother would make fun of me, lol. I think I didn't cry a lot as a kid as well. But I think when I got to college, I was more. When I started living apart from my family, I was more okay to cry. But I would do it alone, you know? If I ever feel overwhelmed, I would watch something sad and then I would do it alone, or I'll listen to sad music and I will do it alone just to get it out and then feel better afterwards, because that's how my brain thinks about crying. You do the thing, you let it all out, you do the sniffles, you do the tissues, and then you're gonna feel better afterwards. Yeah, they might come again after a hot minute, but you're gonna feel better by the end of the day, because that's you processing what just happened and the emotions and why you're crying in the first place, right? So I didn't do it a lot throughout my younger years. It was only after I left, I didn't stay with my family there, that I felt more comfortable doing it. So I don't know what that means though. I don't know what that means. Scared of crying because if I cry, my mom will spank me. Aw. My mom wouldn't spank me necessarily, but it's just like you feel the weight of what's crying going to do. Crying isn't going to solve problems. You know, I think that's usually a lot of their mentality, which is not that nice, of course, because sometimes you just have to cry, and why does everything we do need to solve problems, right? I think all kids did though. Well, my son cries a lot. He's a baby, it's not the same. We're talking about conscious crying. We're talking about you developing enough conscious to be traumatized and yelled at and feel angry enough to cry. We're not talking about like little kids that haven't developed that, you know, frontal lobe yet. But he's still a baby. I was crying till my early teens. I see. Oh no, boy. You could just stop though. Boy, it's so real. I was a sensitive boy. I see. I stopped crying at young age. Can't be crying and selling drugs. Don't work like that in the streets. I see. There's that classic don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about. That Nico just unlocked a cringe. Why do I feel like I read that somewhere in a manhwa? Oh, my brain. Or maybe I'm misremembering things, but my fucking brain just like connected something, and I just behavior response is cringe. That was it. That was the output. Also, Elias is here. Damn, I'll judge you. I don't know what I'm judging, but I'll judge you. Good to know. True, Nico. There's that one kid by the window watching you cry too. Double embarrassment. Who ruined the whole "don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about" thing? I feel like maybe it was from a movie or like a series. Or maybe it was just like some people's type of parenting and then it became normalized and popular. So now everyone is just saying it. How do you guys color now? I mean, how do you guys do coloring these days? Do you use like a big brush, magic wand? I find the only way to convince myself to color these days is to do the lasso tool and then clean up the edges, and then I usually just do gray, like a black gray first, like this, and then I add the colors later on. This is how I color now. This is the only way I can convince my brain to color because I hate coloring so much. I don't know why. Lasso 2 is my favorite coloring tool. It's a really nice one on CSP. Oh, I used to do my roommate's comic on CSP, exclusively coloring on CSP, because one thing about CSP that is so much more better than Photoshop is the magic wand. The magic wand tool is incredible. Like, it can detect that even the smallest holes, the smallest hole pixels aren't, they like, that shit isn't a freaking mistake. Like, it can understand that this is a whole section, even like if you have holes and stuff on the brushes. So I got coloring done quick in Clip Studio Paint, and I always credit Clip Studio Paint for its amazing magic wand tool. But yeah, unfortunately I'm not on the PC anymore. I have been drawing exclusively on Procreate for like 2 years now. Holy shit. I haven't freaking opened my PC to do Photoshop work in almost 2 years. Like, even for video editing, because I haven't been making YouTube videos, I also haven't used my Vegas product. My Sony Vegas. It's not Sony Vegas anymore, but it's just called Vegas Pro. I edit my videos on Vegas Pro, but ever since I stopped posting YouTube videos, I haven't done editing like that anymore. I now only use CapCut and the freaking mobile version too. I use CapCut to do my videos now. And it's seriously goated, and I might consider getting the full version for the PC someday. It's intuitively designed where it's not like CSP. The whole problem with me and Boya not being able to get into CSP is that it's not intuitive, even though it's customizable, but it's not beginner friendly, right? But CapCut just isn't that like that. And I struggle with Procreate too. Even though I feel like the intention of the UI designs and everything actually started to make sense once I spent more time on it. I just started with editing Dear Alice at first. It was like a small project. It was like a no biggie, you know. And then eventually I got used to Procreate, and I haven't left Procreate ever since, because I just like the availability of it. I can fucking draw it when I'm on my fucking couch, like laying down. I can bring it to school and draw Yuri in class. Like I can just go back, hop on back to the work so quickly that it just like I was just like, Photoshop can't fucking do that, y'all. And even though I've been using Photoshop for my entire life, I was like, yeah, it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. Also, this flag won't stand up. How am I gonna get hate comments if I can't make it stand up? I'm sorry. I don't mean that people should hate on it. It's just that people keep hating on it when I put it in view. I give up. I don't know how to make it stand. Oh, there we go. So yeah. Let me look at chat real quick. I'm tired from running away from my cat. What's your cat doing? Embrace it. Give cat so much hug. Cat Cop PC version is good. He hates hugs. I see. CSP is easy. Guy got it in a couple of weeks. Procreate is better than CSP. Sorry, CSP gang. Procreate's brush engine is very unique and very fluid, but it's so RAM heavy. RAM heavy? That's the first time I've seen it that way. When you say RAM heavy, what do you mean? Like it takes a long time to process or something? Is that because you're doing it on a bigger size though? Because right now I'm doing social media comics on 2,000 pixels, and then I do the chapter images like these at A4 sizes, and they're pretty good. But maybe you're talking about like something else. Please elaborate. I'm not affectionate either, he's not too, but we love playing then hugging. I used Procreate on a friend's iPad and hated it so much menu opening just to access layers and tools, true. They want the front page to be so like minimalistic, they hid everything else behind the toolbars and stuff like that. And it took some time for me to get used to it first, but I eventually got like this got used to the shortcut function where I was able to customize what I want to happen right now when I click on it and stuff like that. So there's that. You win some, you lose some with these softwares. I don't think any software is like perfect. And if anything, I feel like people should keep like, scouting for new softwares that can optimize your workflow and whatnot. I think that's the important thing as an artist, is to always keep like looking for better alternatives out there. Just that from my experience, the coloring experience on CSP was the best, and it was the quickest way to get shit done. And I guess if I ever did like a full-on webtoon comic, I would believe CSP is also the best at it as well. CSP features are cool, but how the pen flow is not the same how Photoshop does. CSP is kind of laggy for me, understandable. How do you feel about the Apple Pen when you tried it? Hi Bagel, welcome. Procreate is good for cafe outside drawing. Apple Pen wasn't anything special. Sven did the first job just fine for me, I see. I always thought Apple Pen is a bit heavy for me. Damn. You know what? Maybe. Then I got this pen grip. True, it adds to the weight, but because of how sleek it is, sometimes it's hard for me to grab it, and then I add the pen grip and it just became normal. But maybe that's just me. Photoshop would have been perfect if it doesn't always corrupt my files. Boy, that just means you need to get the proper version of it, not the improper version of it, unfortunately, Boya. Because it's too old. It's too old to be supported. Apple Pen is a bit heavy. I like Spin or that Stellar pen for tablets because they're lightweight and don't need charging. Damn. The fact that they don't need charging is actually a good selling point. You need lots of RAM for more layers in Procreate, and I noticed when I use Procreate, it eats up a lot of RAM and CSP on the iPad. Check the iPad crash a lot, so CSP handles heavier files for me. My iPad's pretty old, so the RAM is tiny, like 4 GB. Newer models have at least 6 to 8 GBs. I see. Damn, you guys are going into specs. I don't even know all this shit. To me, I was like thinking, what? I can bring this out to draw and it fits in my bag? That shit is NASA to me. And I can do a full comic on it without it crashing? That's fucking NASA to me. That was me when I got used to it. I was just really, really happy with the fact that everything sort of worked out like that. It's nice. But yeah, I can totally see what you guys are saying though. Since you guys do more heavier comic work or you guys are more spec focused and whatnot, makes more sense. That's why I don't think I can recommend people to use any sort of software, even though I think the majority recommends CSP. What can I say? I exclusively deal with Procreate. Okay. I also recently switched brushes again. I found the perfect blend between a round brush and Gasinki ink. It was a beautiful brush, and it was only available in the newer brush library. It's called Sanderling, and it is now my full-time brush. Sanderling has this really cool blend between the hardness of a brown brush and the curve of a Gasinki ink. So yeah, Procreate served for me here. Yeah, 4 GB is pretty low. My Adobe is still connected to my previous company. Do you pay? Imagine your previous company checking their license and seeing spicy stuff in the Adobe Cloud. Oh my god, true. That might happen, wouldn't it? Also, hi NT, thank you. Appreciate it. I just hope Procreate fixes transform too, because I hate it when I resize the layer beyond the canvas. I don't think they're ever gonna fix it. I'm not gonna lie to you. What? It has been like so many updates, and this is such like a primal problem. I don't think they're gonna fix it. For comic, CSP is the best. I don't save my files on Adobe Cloud. Good. Yeah, 4 GB is really bad. My vertical pixel for Webtoon is capped at 20,000 pixels per page. CSP still works, even though my 2017 iPad can't update the OS anymore, so I'm sticking to it. Damn. That's true, right? I think technology, it's gonna come to the point where my fucking iPad couldn't update as well. Accidentally saved on the cloud many times before. If I ever get an iPad, I will still use CSP. My brain is too old to learn new software. See, this is where it gets annoying, right? Some of you are privileged enough to grow up with CSP, while most of us were not so privileged enough to have to pirate Adobe and get the Photoshop ones. And horrible. Like, even my lecturers wouldn't help me. You know, they just assume like, well, you either buy it or you crack it. Like that was the only option. So in school, I had a few rebels in school that did not use Photoshop. And my lecturers would struggle to use or edit their work using their whatever software they were using. Some of them were using Paint Tool Size, some of them were using CSP, and you would see my lecturers kind of struggling because my lecturers were also taught to use Photoshop exclusively. And then there came assignments like digital manipulation or photo bashing that exclusively also uses Photoshop, which then my rebel friends had to be forced to use Photoshop. So either way, some of us grew up with it, and it's just not the same. It's the same mentality though about switching programs. We don't feel like switching our programs. I wouldn't want to switch Photoshop if it wasn't such a horrible program for it to crash multiple times. But Procreate to me was the next best option, yeah. I don't like that about Procreate either. The layers don't extend past the canvas once you resize, yes. That's why I always have to duplicate. Keep the original size, fuck them, yeah. If you can learn CSP, I think it's easier to learn Procreate. Oh, not necessarily. I did use CSP, but I only used CSP for coloring. Didn't use it for anything else. Couldn't be fucked to learn the other stuff, to be honest. And then I learned Procreate. So it depends, I think. I switched to CSP like 2-3 years ago. I used crack Adobe since I was like 8. I still hate it, understandable. I think CSP caps at 50k pixel, but that's a giant canvas, yeah. Whenever I open CSP, I feel like I'm piloting a freaking plane. But that meme you sent was classic, cinema classic about CSP. I loved it because that's exactly how I feel too. It's crazy, right? It feels like no one on the Discord feels this way, but when we open it, we feel so intimidated by it. Even though I have been using CSP even before you, I still don't quite understand the whole thing about it, but I think I just need time, to be honest. I need time to get used to it. And that's the reality with most things. Once you have enough time committed, which you didn't, you only committed for like 5 days for accountability. Jesus, boy, not looking good. I was expecting you would be able to do it, but maybe another time then, huh? I think you just got caught up with your work and you didn't have time to properly learn it though. I think if you didn't have that much work, maybe you might have been able to commit to CSP. I have no doubt. But I get it. Work tends to disrupt the learning experience. That's why I think I'm also very happy that I got to learn Procreate like nonchalantly, no pressure, no cap, through Dear Alice. Because it was like the easiest I could do. It was just line art. And then I started doing coloring experimentations with BLT. And that was before I decided I wanted to make the comic. Watching those CSP basics video could help get into it. True. How to CSP for dummies. Also, do you guys remember Hunger Games? I was recently recommended to a video about Hunger Games, and I forgot how much I liked Hunger Games. Didn't like the new prequel sequel thingy though, but that video reminded me of the first part of the Hunger Game, Mockingjay, and for a YA novel, it was probably my favorite out of all the YA novels that got an adaptation, because you also have the Divergent and that other one, The Maze Runner. And those didn't stick to me as much. Or like the Percy Jackson ones and whatnot. It's always been the Hunger Games for me. And the video made some really, really interesting points about how the way it was adapted into a movie. Like we know, I didn't read the book, okay? I don't know anything about the book, so I'll just put it there. But I totally get it, where it's like it's a character narrative driven book, through going through politics and death, right, and everything. But it was always kept in Katniss Everdeen's POV, and I like that. I like when the world feels so big, but the story is focused on the people living in it. So yeah. Hunger Games mention made me hungry. The one with Rachel Segel, I haven't watched that one. I think if you like Hunger Games, you should give it a watch. It's not a bad film. It's basically about President Snow's past, and low-key President Snow reminds me a bit of my character. I'm not gonna say who. You have to watch it to know. But yeah, and the whole YouTube video was critiquing why the first two films worked better than that prequel sequel movie of the Snakes one. Yeah, they call it Snakes, Songs of Snakes or something. And I watched both, right? And I totally remember loving Hunger Games, like the Mockingbird, Mockingjay one, and I was like, it's absolute cinema. And then the second one got really political, but I still enjoyed it, right? Total good cinema experience. And then I watched the Ballads of Songs and Snakes, and I was like, I felt very disconnected, even though I feel like we could have seen a lot more from the president. You know, he's supposed to be this cold-hearted person, like doesn't care if people die. But that whole point of the movie was trying to show how he got to that point, right? Which is a very, very interesting story to write on. And I'm sure the novel did it a great amount of justice, but I thought the movie was a bit like, when I first saw it, I was like, it was good, but it was also like, I couldn't relate to them. And I thought I would relate to Snow, because I was really, really looking forward to seeing how he became a cold-hearted president and whatnot. So, and if you want, I can drop you guys the video link. It's very good. And then, yeah, you guys can watch it and see how the way they shot it affected the entire film and whatnot. So, yeah. Minsung, no, I don't. But welcome. Welcome to the stream. We'll toss you a breath of love. Ibis Paint is slowly turning into CSP2, but more mobile friendly. Damn, I haven't tried Ibis Paint before. There's also Fire Alpaca or something. There's so many out there, to be honest. I think the only ones I've tried is Paint Tool Sai. And that was before I learned Photoshop, so yeah. Yeah, Divergent, Hunger Games, Maze Runner, good old times. Good old times indeed. Is Stranger Things considered YA? What even is the genre for YA now? I really, really loved Stranger Things when it first came out too. And I think it's just like, I like to imagine that someday one of my stories may, hopefully, I don't know, right? I don't want to say it out loud because it's a bit cringe. But I would love it if one of my stories someday get adapted to a feature film or like a full-on series as well. It's like a little goal, but it's not necessarily have to be achieved by a big studio animation or stuff like that. Like if I have the money, of course I will adapt it myself, but it's always been a dream of mine to have that happen. And now I just keep watching these videos and think about, you gotta find a good director. You gotta make sure, like, the fucking screenwriter and whatnot sticks to the original source of the content and shit like that. And yeah, it's as fun and as cool as it is to think about, like, you writing a story that might someday become a full-on thing, animation and whatnot. It's also a bit scary. I don't know why I feel scary because it's not happening yet, but it's also a bit scary to think like when you hand off your stuff to other people, they might misconstrue it. It might lose the original intent it was meant to be. But yeah, that's don't know why I have this. It's not happening yet. I start to think about these things. Like I start daydreaming about these things. It's like, oh, I would hate to hand off like Dear Alice or something, right? And then it loses its like original meaning and whatnot. Stuff like that. Like I would have to be controlling. I would have to be like every step of the way, any changes you make, you have to let me know. Does it make sense? And you would possibly also have to work with like a group of writers or like other people, right? And you have to like prove your point, like no, this needs to happen. This scene, you can't cut this scene out because it loses its meaning and stuff like that. You have to constantly argue, especially if you're trying to adapt like a comic or whatnot, and you have like a limited numbers of episodes, or you have limited time, like it can only be 2 hours movie. How are you gonna fit the whole content into the limitations? That's the interesting part, but also challenging. And I would like to have these kinds of challenges where I have the material already, but now I have to make it presentable and still make it entertaining and true to the story. All that shit, man. Prequels could be interesting. The new trailer looked good. Yep. I think prequels, sequels, they're not ruined by default. They're all good. It's just when you hand it off to different people or you hand it to someone who doesn't know the material as well, then that's it. It's gonna be adapted in a way that isn't true to the original meaning, which is what happened with the Hunger Game prequel thing. So I think a lot of people preferred the book for sure. They were saying the movie kind of didn't adapt it as well, but they loved the book that came with it. So yeah, BLT drama. Wouldn't that be great? Like if I can just like, you know how there's all these like yaoi animes that come out. They only have like 8 episodes, right? And for whatever reason, the end of these seasons always end with the 18 plus stuff. But the rest of the 7 episodes before it is just how they met, what happened, how they got together, and then the last secret episode is just like them doing the deed and stuff like that. And I like that. I like that approach. I like that there is a secret episode where the animators have to animate them doing the deed, and then the rest of the 7 episode is like plot and it's like what happened and stuff. Like if I'm sure if I had enough money, I would like to make that happen too. Just like condense the entire story into like a one-off animation, just so I can say like, yeah, I got adapted. I had to pay for it. It's indie and stuff, but it got adapted, right? That's still a nice feeling. That's why I say it doesn't have to be Like if I ever make a story, it doesn't ever have to be picked up by like a big company and whatnot. I would just like to get to a point in my life where I have enough money to adapt and have control over how it gets adapted. I don't need full control. I just need to feel like what I'm seeing is doing the book more justice, right? Because now you got sounds, you got dialogue, you got voice acting, you got like theme songs, you got animation. My dad, I don't know what's happening again, but it just me saying all of that unlocked the core memory. And I think I mentioned this on stream before. Before I became an artist, before I went to art school, I talked with my dad and we discussed like career options for me. We were like thinking, what are you interested in? Right? My dad would say. And then I said, I like drawing and I like making stories, but I don't want to be a writer because I don't enjoy writing as much, but I do like drawing and making stories. Because but then that would just lead to comic, and at that time me and him thought, okay, maybe comic isn't a viable career right now, right? So we talked about what else other than art stuff, and then I said, I don't know, I like fashion and psychology, but these were more like hobbies back then. And he said psychology might be good, but then I said, what am I good? I don't know if I want to be a therapist or something like that. And then eventually we landed on filmmaking. And I was actually not opposed to it. He said, what about a director, right? What if you became um, someone who works behind the scenes, like in film and whatnot? And I was like, true, I do enjoy YouTube. I do enjoy video editing and all that stuff. And I could possibly see myself as a director. But then that was it. That was like the entire conversation. It's just like, maybe a director. Who knows? And for whatever reason, I went to art school instead, and then the rest is history. Went to art school, did the illustration route, and then came out. I was already making comics before art school, came out still making comics, and just decided, hey, I kind of like making comics. It's low pressure, you know, and I can just do it and then quit on it, and then people, I don't have to do like the fucking sound design and stuff like an animation does. But you know what? I still would like to have something adapted someday. It doesn't have to be BLT. It doesn't have to be Dear Alice. As long as I keep making stories, I would like one of these stories to be picked up someday, to be something else. I don't know. I might have to make it happen myself. I don't think anyone is gonna do it for me. So if I have to make it happen myself, I'll do it, I suppose. So yeah. I love dystopian stories. Damn, me too. I do like the politics in dystopian worlds as well. I don't usually like politics, but when it's like dystopian, you know, it's the politics is more about the human nature of someone and the psychology of someone, more so about the politics, and it's always so interesting to watch that for me. It's like what kind of decisions people make when the world is a bit fucked up, right? I mean, I don't know. Don't see myself as a political person lover, but yeah. PLT TV drama, God. I think it's a goal most writers have on some level, even in the back of their minds, right? I don't like to admit this kind of goals to people because it feels a bit shallow. It's not shallow. It feels a bit naive, I would say, because how can you wish for something like this if you aren't doing the work, right? But now that I am doing the work, I feel like I can say these things with more confidence because I am trying to work through something and it might not happen, but I would like to believe that maybe someday it could happen, right? So yeah. I want Nuttyland adaptation to be as terrible as possible. How so? It's so bad and it's good. I think given that Nuttyland works as like this very, what's the word? Sarcastic? Sapphic? there's a word to describe these types of genre, but it's like comedy, sarcasm. I think yes, probably the worse it does, the better for the story it will land. So might be an anime. Animes might be more faithful to the original source material. Not always. Not always. I just seen Beastars. Satire, yes, satire. You guys are correct. I wanted to say satire. And about the anime comment, not always, not always. I just saw Beastars. I was very, very disappointed with it. And I really, really love Beastars as well, right? I love the characters so much, and they did them. I don't know what the fuck is going on in the final season. Okay, so disappointed. But I bet the manga is probably better. But I read some comments about people giving it mixed reviews for the endings on the manga as well. So yeah, not always the case. Not always the case, you know. I want my magnum opus to be adapted into a movie, but it's impossible. It's impossible, but saying it feels good though, right? I also think it's impossible for any of these to be adapted someday, but I just like to say it and think about it and even fantasize about me arguing with the writer, the director, and trying to keep the source material as linear as possible and stuff like that. But yeah, just stuff like that, man. And I don't think I ever wanted to acknowledge it until I got more serious when like I made the Dear Alice book. I was like thinking, wow, what if it became a game? What if I made a whole soundtrack for it? I mean, that shit never came to fruition. Me and Tahir worked on the game for a little bit, but it's fine. It's like another visual novel type game. I don't think it was that interesting, and I couldn't actually think of a new story other than the existing one. But yeah, a game would have been fun for Dear Alice. I wouldn't say Dear Alice. Dear Alice would be good episodic, not a movie. Episodic and a game, but that's about it. It can't be a movie or stuff like that, or an anime. If it was an anime, it would be like super short, I would say. Or I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Some people can prove me wrong. We'll see. I love Tokyo Go manga, but they butchered it on the anime adaptation. I remember really liking Tokyo Go too. I liked the first season, and then the moment Kaneki is his name, I think. Sorry if it's not. I think the moment Kaneki had white hair, I stopped watching. That ending where he later joins the enforcers, I was like, I don't want to watch the rest of it. I don't know how I feel about it. So I stopped there, but I remember liking Tokyo Go. The premise is nice. I like that it's a bit apocalyptic too. A lot of a lot of anime adaptations get butchered because showrunners are trying to fit it in little episodes as possible, extend with filters to wait for new chapter materials. True. It's better if the anime already has the if the source material is completed. For instance, Chainsaw Man is already in season 2, but they're still on season 1, and they just came out with a movie. And season 1 covers only like half, maybe 30% of the entire season 1, and then the movie covers it to about 50%, and there's still 50% left of the series that haven't been covered. I think that's the better way to approach these things, is to first have at least season 1 done while the author has already been halfway through or 30% way through with season 2, and then you release the anime, or if it was already in the making for a long time, right? Because then you have the source material and you don't have to just think stuff out and hope the filler episodes stick. But I also think they sometimes do filler episodes because they want the people to keep waiting while they go read the manga. I don't know, stuff like that. It's more complicated, I would say, with the anime industry, with adaptations, for sure. Can't say the same for Netflix, though. Again, I loved Stranger Things, but somewhere along the line, Stranger Things got really strange. Okay, like when they moved into that new era of like the not Y2K. I don't know what that era was. Maybe the 80s era or retro six. They just moved on to a new era, and then it stopped being about a small town mystery and shit going insane with kids story. Okay, it completely changed. It became like a whole. I I saw YouTube videos reviewing the last season, and I was like, this looks like a Marvel movie, bros. This looks like okay, we're fighting the aliens. We have guns. Let's go. And this was not the original start of the story. The original start of the story felt like you couldn't win against these aliens, the upside down and everything. And I like that despair. Okay, maybe I'm a bit, I don't know, but it's storytelling like this that feel like there are things bigger than us that feel very like, oh, I fear for these characters, right? It makes me care about them. And then they picked up guns in the last season, and you have these kids with guns, and I mean, yeah, they grow up, they become teenagers, but it just became like a whole, like, Marvel Endgame shit. So I was just like, damn, I don't think I'm gonna go watch it at this point. So yeah. So even with Arcane, right? Why I don't know why I'm getting so riled up. What I think happened with Arcane as well was I think the showrunners didn't know it was gonna be the last season in the second season of Arcane. I think they thought, oh, maybe we're gonna have more time to adapt the whole story. Like maybe there was gonna be 3 seasons, and then season 1 was so good, and then season 2 just like felt so rushed. Like there was a huge pacing issue. And in my mind, I was thinking, why couldn't they stretch this out to another season? Why couldn't they leave the whole arc 3, like imagine this as an arc 3 politics conflict driven story where Vi becomes Dark Vi and everything. And then arc 2, season 2, they focus on the whole Isha story with Jinx and whatnot, and then a bit of a conflict between sisters and whatnot. And it would have solved the biggest issue of the movie, of the series, which was the pacing issue. But again, I saw on Reddit saying it was because they didn't know it was going to be the last season, so they had to squeeze everything into 2 seasons and make the story work, or they had to squeeze everything into season 2 to make the story work. So these companies ruined everything ruined everything I love. That's why in my personal opinion, if I were to adapt something, if I do not have control of it, I probably wouldn't even go for it, right? I wouldn't take it because then that's the entire story's legacy. The legacy is just that, oh, the anime isn't that good, go read the book. But why can't they both be good, right? Anyway, thanks for coming to my little rant talk. I have a lot of comments a lot of chat to go through because I started rambling and I haven't drawn anything. Let me look at chat real quick. Some anime adaptations are really bad, mostly because of budget reasons. Understandable. Guess it depends on the studio for sure. Depends highly on the companies and investors, and I don't know, shit like that. I almost watched a BL anime at work, but stopped and was relieved I didn't do it because when I watched it at home, I didn't expect they animate the deed. Yeah, it's always those secret episodes though, which is nice. I like this. I don't know what these new Korean anime wave is called, but I like it. I like that it's always 7 episodes of the anime explaining the plot, and then the last episode is them doing a full-on episode of the deed, right? It's interesting, and I like it. I will like for that to happen here too. One Punch Man season 2 entry. Oh no. I think I really like One Punch Man season 1. I can't say I remember much for One Punch season 2, and I didn't watch season 3. Considered filmmaking. I considered it, but yeah, film school is expensive, like Boya said, and I don't think I have enough commanding effect, or I'm too reserved to be in a director or any type of position that I need to argue for things to happen. I feel like in filmmaking, you have to constantly prove yourself, whether that's script writing, storyboarding, screenplay, or directorial, whatever. I feel like you constantly need to justify something. But, you know, as a comic artist, as a YouTuber, no one's gonna fight me on it. If I fail, then I have only myself to blame, and then I just move on and I learn from my mistakes. But if it's like a whole ass film, imagine you made something and you have to tell your family and friends to go watch it because your entire salary is based on how well the numbers do in the cinema or whatever. That shit is so nerve-wracking. And what, all you get is like a little credit in the credit roll? I don't know. I feel like I appreciate the industry and how it comes together to make amazing stuff for us to watch and whatnot. But it's not for me. It's not for me. I mean, if I got paid a lot of money, sure, but I doubt these people are getting paid enough at this point. Everyone, I'm getting pessimistic. Sorry, but I just wanted to say, I think a lot of people are sold on the idea that they're working for these studios or big companies to be like associated with them, to have their name attached to a project, and to show like, well, like my art journey brought me to this film, to the big screens, and how cool is that, right? But at the same time, it feels like, yeah, for some people it's their dream, but for me it's not my dream. I feel sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they get a bit, it feels a bit manipulated. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Again, just take what I said with a grain of salt. I'm not speaking for everybody because I myself have not been in the industry. What can I say, right? It's just that as an opinion outside of that industry, I just feel like a lot of them sometimes their passion are being manipulated, abused, whatnot. So not something I can. I mean, it's just the industry, right? What are you gonna do? What was your art major? Not sure if I caught it. I was in illustration. I learned mostly Photoshop on like digital manipulation, photo bashing, illustrations of like anatomy, fundamentals, and I also did painting. I had to learn painting for my illustration course. And these were all good. They sped up my art. They made my art better. They sped me up. I used to couldn't draw a fucking side wheel face. And the first art I submitted to the school was a side wheel face of Halsey. I don't know why. And I don't know if I can find a picture. But yeah, I just drew a portrait of Halsey. Side wheel, drew her tattoo and everything, and I submitted to the art school. And then I came out of the art school being able to draw better, of course. But that was pretty much 3 years of my life just getting good at art, right? Learned how to render, learn the basics and everything, because before art school I only knew how to draw line arts and do flat colors. My color theory was awful before college, okay? So college fixed my color theory and made me realize coloring isn't actually that hard. I used to hate coloring, hated it in college as well, but after learning the fundamentals of coloring, I got used to it. And this is after years of learning coloring. It's not that insane, right? But again, once you have the fundamentals, you can also do something like that. So, Yeah, that is what I learned in college. What really also helped me move forward my career was my first job. I was a designer, a graphic designer, because I couldn't get a job in illustration. Either they didn't pay well or they only wanted to do AAA game styles, right? The only studios that were looking are these companies that want people to render heavily, splash art. And I didn't like to do these things. I didn't like rendering and stuff like that. So I went into design, got a design job, marketing in marketing. So I had to design like Facebook banners, Instagram pages, branding, and I learned a lot. I loved it at first, and then office politics, right? And I quit my job. But I learned a lot from the job of like social media visuals. That's how I was also able to build the YouTube career that I have now. But I already had like video editing knowledge before my job. That was already something I had. It's just that I learned how to frame things better through a design standpoint at my first job. So yeah. And then it was YouTube the rest of the way, and then Germany. So yeah. Making movies is hard. A lot of unpredictability. You have to think on your feet for sure. And I had a coworker, an ex-coworker that worked with me that used to be in the TV industry. He was in a big industry. Okay, he was in my national TV company in Malaysia, and I heard stories of how he used to work. He had to get up at 4 a.m. He would have to stay on the set until 1 a.m. If things were bad, he'd have to stay longer. And I don't know if they got paid with OT and stuff like that. A lot of horror stories with doing like the show running business, okay? Because people come late, the story isn't done, shit like that, right? So kind of glad I didn't go to film school, but I'm also curious. I just don't think I would have done any better than art school though. I feel like art school was the best choice. How I wish I took art school. I'm planning to enroll into an animation course this year or next year if I'm too busy. I'm excited for you, Boya. If you do it. I think animation would be nice for you. Boya self-taught? True. Are you self-taught, Boya? You didn't only watch Beastars for the furry. Maybe. They're not too bad, I gotta say. If you did art school, we might have met. You'd probably be my senpai senior. That's cool. True. It's okay. I think architecture was nice for you too. I don't know how far you got with architecture, but you made a floor plan of your room with your mom. I thought that was like, oh, this is her architect. Architecture student coming out, because I remember I had to design a floor plan for my job as well. And then I remember all this, like how you draw the doors and the spacing and everything. I was like, damn. Yeah, Boya definitely was in the industry. Only money. Yeah. Chainsaw Man ended? I don't know actually. I don't think so. Isn't it on season 2? Like the comic I think is still going, if I remember. I haven't checked back. Will or Mike needed to die in Stranger Things or 11. Actually, a lot of characters needed to die. I agree. They killed off the very unimportant characters that I do not care. And I truly believe one of the main characters had to die for the story to have any sorts of impact. Yeah, no stakes, for sure. I haven't watched Arcane up to this day. I am shocked when you mentioned it's the last season. It's gone, Boya. I mean, I think they're gonna make a sequel or something, but I don't think it's gonna be related to the Jinx and Vi story. Nuttyland ends with an Avengers in-game type battle. It works because, again, your whole comic is satire. It works. It should play on mocking the Hollywood industry, right? I I watched season 1 and it was very impressive. I have no energy to watch anything aside from streams or YouTube videos. Understandable. Arcane season 2 is rushed, but it's still worth watching in my opinion. True. Echo episode is amazing. I loved Echo. I don't know. You know who I hate? I really hated Isha. And that's a very unpopular opinion, okay? I really, 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 really hated Isha, okay? That is my hot take of the day. If you have watched Arcane Season 2, you know that yuuning hates Isha. I thought he was... I don't know what his role was, and... I mean, we know what his role is. I just don't think his role was that important to the story. I just felt it was brought in like a plot convenience, okay? So, I'll leave that there. We watch after the con, May 9, 10. Good luck on your con, boy. I'm not kidding, Chance. It ends in a big battle. Korean animation is really good, right? So happy with this new wave of Korean animation. Then boy, we're finding free. Also real. I still have to watch Quit, please. I still it's BL anime, only 8 episodes made by the creator of Alien Stage. Good to know. I'm rushing everything now. We'll print everything on my own because there's no printer. Oh, yeah, true. Nowadays you can make your own movies and series. You just need the funds and the know-how. And need people. It's the most important thing. You need people to know what they're doing. And yeah, you need the money. Man, I don't even want to tell my friends and family if I had a movie. I'm too shy. I mean, if it was Dear Alice, I probably would. I've always told people about Dear Alice. I never told anyone about this. I feel like my friends and family can just know me for Dear Alice, and that's fine. Maybe my family, but my friends can know about this, but I also wouldn't push them to go watch it as well. Also, hi Red, welcome. So yeah, I think it's a bit nuanced. I would tell people about Dear Alice, everyone, and that's all they should know me for, not this. Almost no one really reads movies, films, or animations end credits. Yep, that's the sad part. And you know some of them put blood, sweat, and tears into a scene, right? And yeah, I don't know. I feel grateful for these people to want to work on something that big and just be like in the little credits and whatnot. But at the same time, I just feel like this is what it takes to make a film, right? It's like a lot of people and a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of unpaid, not unpaid, but just like low paid wages. I don't know. Again, I can't say much. I'm not in the industry, so don't quote me on it. I have a feeling my mom will visit me at the con. She said, I'll buy all your stuff. And I told her, no, don't, please. Imagine if she came, though. She'd be like... She'd just be like that. That would be so funny. Your sis know what's up. Does your mom know what you're selling? She will eventually. It'll be like when Hank finds out that Walt is Heisenberg. True. I'm self-taught. Architecture, you mean architecture? That's a joke valid for you to make. Congrats. You have every right to make that joke. Good for you. Also, hi Red. I'm just drawing. This one's finished. So I'm in the middle of coloring. So that's what I was supposed to do until I started yapping about shows. I will say this though. Lately, me and Tahir, I mentioned this before in the last streams. Me and Tahir are on a Mads Mikkelsen run where we only watch Mads Mikkelsen movies because apparently I really like him and he's really good looking. Okay. And he has a lot of films made in Denmark. It's basically they speak Danish, okay? And these are really good. Holy shit. I don't think I've ever watched enough foreign films, right? I always thought they were, the fact that they're in foreign language is already a hard watch, but but these films that Mads Mikkelsen does that are in Danish are so good. They're they're just so good. They're so much better than probably a lot of these Hollywood movies that I've seen. So yeah, that's all we've been doing now recently. Is just watching those movies, and maybe once I finish Mads Mikkelsen, I'll hop on Christian Bale. Christian Bale from American Psycho. I saw an artist try to fund her animated film via Kickstarter, but the goal was kind of too high. $250K, so the funding failed. Animated films are expensive, for sure. You have to pay like a whole ass team. You have to pay like, I mean, if you can probably do the storyboarding, the branding and everything. That's cool, but you also need to pay like the multiple animators, and you have to pay like the sound designers, and I don't know, yeah. That's why I never got into filmmaking, probably. It just feels like a lot of work and a lot of money that I don't even know how to ask for, right? I don't know how to ask for money to like, guys, can you like support my yaoi? Like, imagine I did that, I just die. So it's not happening, guys. But there was this Yuri film, Heartbreaker or something. I don't know. It was about mermaids that I keep seeing trying to like get done. I think it's in the process of being adapted, which is great because they had a Kickstarter where I think it got funded. Yeah, so it does happen, but for sure not all the time. Isn't that the artists who make a wholesome couple animations? Didn't know about that. 250K, damn. Can make one for 22K. She even did a face review to ask help for the funding. I feel I would need to do that too, yeah. It feels more sincere. That's why I wanted to learn animation. I want to animate something spicy. I love your motivation, Boya. Love it. When I start asking people to support, we know she's down bad, for sure, for sure. I mean, hopefully with Patreon, right? We can get somewhere with that someday. But also as pessimistic as this might sound about what I'm gonna say, not to burst bubbles, not to sound like a Debbie Downer, and so on and so on. I think also some people, maybe some things shouldn't stay popularized or serialized as well. So that's why I also have this feeling that maybe I'm not meant for things to be like adapted and stuff like that. Like if I have too much controlling tendencies over these things, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. And at that point, it's better to just do it yourself. But I know I can't do it because, well, first of all, I don't actually enjoy animating. And again, I applaud anyone that does. But at the same time, I still also want to believe like, yeah, it would be so nice to see them move and have like music and stuff like that. But well, maybe when I get bored of comics, I can consider it. I don't see why not. The comics are just easy, man. They're just so easy. Post an episode and you can turn it into a video and it's like doesn't even have to be a fully animated video as long as you have the panels there, and you can just do some light editing, light animation. That's sad. I hope they get to fund their animation next time. I think if they have like lesser money goal, they probably would. Funny thing is that most adult BL animators on Patreon are Filipinos, and they're popular in the field too. Good to know. I like how down bad you guys are, that's for sure. You guys are not. You guys are down bad. Pung started some sort of monthly mail subscription thing to save up for the film costs instead, I think. Ah, that's cool. She's still planning to work on it? I don't want people to pay for anything I do, though, for my animations. Give me freedom to do whatever. Doing motion comics, so it's best of both worlds. I agree. I think I'm also leaning towards motion comics at this point. Like, it would be nice to do like a full animation, but at the same time, I feel like motion comics, I can probably do it myself. Probably. And then it's like low stakes, I would say. It's lower stakes. Because at this point with video editing, you can kind of take music from existing music. And, you know, if you want to take an extra step, you can pay someone to narrate. And you can probably do the rest yourself with the whole transitions and the clipping and everything. Comics is fun, but I tend to get bored. Then, true. Animation is probably for you then, Boya. But wait, Boya, are you perhaps also getting bored with the 18 stuff? How's that coming along? What will you do if you get bored of the 18 stuff? Because that's literally your livelihood at this point, right? You ever worry about it? I think even I haven't started making any money from it. I even started to worry about things like this. I was like, okay, if I start Patreon, right, people actually want to pay me to work on this thing, and I start losing, like, passion for it. What the fuck am I gonna do? Huh? I've commissioned voice actors before, but I might scrap it. True, you never finished it. What happened, actually? Why didn't you work on it? Did something happen? Like, maybe it was too hard to animate? Maybe you can ask for help if that case. I really think you should try to get it done though, even though, I mean, let's see what Boya says. Yes, Boya, she wants to make the film one way or another, so I think saving up is the way to go. What are motion comics? Are they not animation, or is it what to narrations? The cool thing about motion comics is you can add animations in between for certain scenes, for example, a transformation or a cool move. I mean, motion comics, there's the way Chainsaw said it, and then how I looked at it is, yes, it would look a bit like those TikTok type editing videos where it's just like a flash of panel with cool music, and then like another flash of panels, and then the dialogue transitions, like a fade to black thing type shit. That's to me what motion comics are, and you don't necessarily need a narrator. You can add narration for extra effort, but to me, sometimes as long as you have a cool music that syncs to the beat, that's a pretty good motion comic. right now I'm so low effort. I just do my videos. I just do my shorts and my reels. Like I already have the comic done. I just give them like minor transitions, scene to scene, to pages from pages to pages. I didn't even bother chopping them, right? And they work for what it is. They get a couple of views, and then like I'm done. And at the end of the day, if I ever want to come back to it and start like, you know, cutting, splicing things up, and then just like add a little effect in there, and then it could be its own motion comic. That's just like the tiny upgrade from what you're already doing, but this time you like animate it sort of, but not really, because animation is like rigging and stuff like that. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But yeah. The cool thing about motion comics, okay, true. I don't get bored with 18 stuff. I get bored at the concept, and then I dive into another idea. I see. It's a never-ending WIP loop. That's relatable actually. This is what I said in the start of my stream. For the first week, I was so invested in the gender bend thing. I made a full ass comic, right? And then the second week, I got bored, and now it's like I have to finish it because I already started on it, and now it just feels like work. So I get you, boy. God damn. Just spoke from the heart, from my heart. Do you commission them to say spicy things? No, it's angst. Boy, I made them say freaky things. I scrapped it because I like the comic. They voice acted. The voice acting was superb. It's a me problem. What the hell? What happened? What happened, boy? I'm doing the voice acting myself and converting my voice into whatever I need. I see. Also, hi, Ryoki. Welcome. Hello, I'm curious what are you doing? Maybe I can get an explanation about your work. I'm doing comics. Right now I have to color this, but usually this is how I color. That's right, guys. I'm gonna keep showing my fucking Lauren Atla piece just to show that, yes, guys, I'm not lazy. I do color. It's just I'm yapping more on this stream. But yeah, I'm currently working on comics. Chains e-girl win. I might hire a person to do the same thing with their voice as well. Yeah, it's comics. We yap so much. We yap so much. We yap so much. I'm almost out of time. Like, it's almost 6. Holy. We yapped for 2 hours, and what did I do? I mean, I guess I colored this one, but it's not coloring. I masked this one. That's the entire stream. That's all we did today, gang. That was very productive. Nah, but for real, I go on these streams and I know I never finish anything. I know I don't get shit done when I'm talking. But it's fine. It's only 2 hours a week where I get to yap. Okay, fine. I'll mask the rest of the comic, guys. Since we're almost ending anyway. Whatever. It's not that bad. I just get carried away. I mean, I hope at least you guys got some work done while you watch me yap. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Because it could be like a let's yap and draw together stream, gang. 2 hours intense yapping and focus drawing session. How about that? Let's call these that. Yapping fun. I would have completed 3 panels at this point in my stream. We're here for the yap though. I get shit done when yuuning yaps on stream. Thanks. Same, but my pencil died on me. No, that's the worst feeling ever when you want to draw but your hardware fails you. Finish 1 spicy page thanks to my yap. Finished so much work and picked up my son from kindergarten. Goddamn. Good to know. Your son should probably hear my voice and know me at this point. I broke my daily spicy BL art because I got sick. You have a daily... You have a daily spicy drawing session? That is so insane though. I don't think I could do it. Like, as much as I love the spicy stuff, God, that anatomy, critical thinking is not easy, brother. I think I can only do it once every month at this point. Well, this month, I did something nice, which was egg. But that's where I'm leaving it at. That's the most intense I've done this one. Egg, just that. Egg theme. Beautiful. Who knows what will happen next month? But I can only do it once a month. Thinking about finishing that comic, even though it's finished, but I'm thinking about coloring it and making it a full thing, but I don't know. It's so fucked up. But I'll see. I'll see. I'll think about it. I don't know, but I'll think about it. I won't be doing it daily once con is done. I see. Did it for the con. Yeah, it seems like my son doesn't know that's good. It seems like the con is taking a toll on you. So just remember to take a rest, take a break once in a while as well. Like, one thing I had to learn about, at this point, posting weekly, right, is the work never ends. Like, you're gonna be proud of yourself for finishing a comic for that week, and then, at least in my case, I'd start to feel like, oh shit. And then I have to work on next week's comic, and then I have to work on next week's comic, and it's just never ending. So if you feel you need to take a break, a timed break, I add, and sleep or eat or go out, like, you should still do that. Well, at least you look like you've been eating well. Because kind of no one is gonna pity you and stuff when you, like, get sick from drawing. You only have to have yourself to care, and it's sad. I wanted for you and Pal or Nico to beta read my spicy comic, but I'm too scared because it's nasty as hell. At this point, I don't know why you still feel shy. I think you should just do it if you want us to read it, and I don't see why not. I would like to do it. Only if you want to, though, of course. Zelda music so calming, right? Zelda music, the best. Probably Talt with the eye emoji. Probably Talt wants to beta read it too at this point. Let's... I feel like I put too much dialogue. Well, that's the thing, right? I don't know much about the characters that you're currently working on, the fan art, so it's a bit hard for me to critique the dialogues and everything because I don't know them well enough. So I would say maybe Pao is probably the best person you can ask to help you beta read them, because Pao actually knows these characters, right? So if I were to help you, I don't think I could help you much with the dialogue because again, like I would probably cut a lot because I don't know them well enough. And I wouldn't be able to evaluate if it's necessary because I don't know them well enough. So yeah. Because at least with Adrian and Dennis, we both started on the same foot, right? I saw them grow from the beginning towards the end where I know enough. It's like, I think this is how he would respond instead of like the other way and whatnot. But with the new characters, I'm not too sure. Don't know them well enough. I don't think most people would notice the dialogue. I think so too. I think that was one thing I told Boya. The reality of doujins. I mean, I didn't say it like that. I just said, for me, myself, when I read doujins, I don't really care much for the plot or story or the dialogue because it already exists in the fandom. That's why it's a fandom comic and whatnot. But yeah. I think it varies though. It depends from person to person. Maybe some people prefer more dialogues. But personally, for me with doujins, if the media already existed and I already know how their relationship works, I don't typically care much for the dialogue. But you know, if it's like an OC story where we do not know anything about the media and it hasn't existed before you, then yeah, more dialogue would be nicer. But also like, right, there's also ways to like write meaningful dialogues without like piling on dialogues. I think one thing I noticed that most comic artists struggle back when I was still critiquing comics was the dialogues. They either they always either say too much and then they try to fit them in one dialogue bubble, or they just like straight up lore dump. The problem to me was never too little dialogue. It was always too many speech bubbles and too many dialogues for whatever reason. And these things, unfortunately, they come with experience. You get better at writing dialogues as time goes. Like you realize that, oh, a person is definitely gonna skip over certain bubbles because they look good. The typesetting looked a bit hard to read or stuff like that. But it's just part of experience. You get better the more stories you work on. I've been struggling to minimize dialogues. I tend to overwrite. True, I think that's why we also have editors. I think that's the goodness of having an editor. With my novel right now, I used to think like, oh, I probably don't need that much beta readers. I'll probably just get like 5 or something, and then I'll start posting. I'm on my 5th beta reader right now. And I mean, I had 2 dropping out. And I realized it's never gonna be enough. But because I'm paying some of them, I decided it's okay. I'll deal with what I have right now, and most of the time, the critiques I got were mostly not it. Weirdest thing about writing novel is that I got the kind of critiques were given to me were mostly like I need to elaborate more, which is interesting. Because in the comic world, when I used to write scripts, I can't elaborate too much because I can show it instead. So one thing I learned about from writing as well is that we do need more elaboration sometimes. So it's not always a bad thing to overwrite. But
with comics, it does walk a bit of a fine line between like over exposition, over dialogues, too many dialogues, over not telling or showing and that kind of shit. It's funny because I tend to write too little in my novels, and with comics, I'm always trying to write less as well. I think it's even worse with videos. If you're making like a video comic and whatnot, you best believe they be swiping away when shit doesn't happen in 0.02 seconds. So that shit's worse. But I guess I just think also if people are willing to sit down, you know, and read something that you wrote, they want to be truly immersed into it. So that's why just write more in writing. And in comics, it's also fine too. Bruh, my throat is killing me actually. I kept drinking water, it's not getting better. Fucking yapping for 2 hours has its consequences, guys. And with webtoon, text bubbles just always seem huge. Yeah? I think it's because in novels, the elaboration description is the equivalent of drawing in comics. Drawing the characters, backgrounds, expression, etc. For sure, for sure. That's why I struggle a lot with writing my novel. I tend to write it like, oh, it's gonna be in a comic form, and then I end up leaving out a lot of fucking details. And I just don't think it's an enjoyable reading experience if I were to release the novel first before the comic. So I actually want to write the novel with the intent of like, if it doesn't have a comic, can it still be a standalone novel, right? So that's the part that I had to realize along the way. That was the hard part I had to sit with. But yeah. At least the script is done. I just need to refine it in a way where the part of the reading is more enjoyable, you know? But also, I'll just say this one last thing. In favor, right? Because we're competing right now on social media. We're competing for attention. And for whatever reason, that has also consumed me. Just like making comics for social media and videos and whatnot. For the first episode of the novel, I redid it like 3-4 times. And I completely changed it the third time. I started it differently. It started right at the conflict or right at the mark where they meet, and then it's like, oh, something's about to happen. But before that, there was a car ride between the family. And one thing one of my beta readers told me was when I showed them the draft for just going immediately to the conflict, because I thought that's what everyone wanted, is to get into the story immediately so they can get hooked on the first episode and not start like with a slow opening. So I got feedback once from my beta reader that said, I don't know who this character is before everything happened. And then I was like, oh, because I thought you guys wanted to start, right? I had to learn these things from writing as well, and pacing and everything. And I was so okay with starting the whole comic right at the conflict, right the moment they met. But yeah, I realized if I don't show who this character was before he entered the school, then there's no other way to show it. So sorry, I know I'm speaking in thoughts and like cut-offs and fragments, but this is just something that came to my mind. I think sometimes I might edit things or do things in favor of like trying to hold your attention with like stories and whatnot, and that's not necessarily always a good thing, because yeah, sometimes things need time to be built up to with stories. I think that's why I also, when I read comics, I tend to skip the first few episodes. That is also a problem I have, by the way. I don't usually want to read the build up to the conflict. I always want to start a comic or something right at the conflict. And I started writing that into my novel as well, but I realized not a lot of people liked it. I had 2 beta readers basically telling me that I don't know who this character is before the academy, even though the conflict is good to start on. So yeah, there's a delicate balance in pacing with stories about setting up characters and like a huge world building story and whatnot. And at the same time, it's like you can't do too much exposition, you can't do too much world building, yada yada, and it's just like I'm a bit overwhelmed with writing. I'm not gonna lie. This has been me the past few weeks, just like going through feedbacks and whatnot. But yeah, I think I'll be fine. I'll prevail. I'm mostly just very annoyed at a certain scene right now in the later arcs where I was just like, this person is too unhuman. He speaks so unhuman. Like, I was like, am I gonna ruin this character? But anyway, these are just the ramblings of a deranged writer who hasn't talked to anyone other than their schoolmates and their husband for a long ass time in Discord. That's all. That's my whole life right now. I wake up, I make comics, I edit the little videos, and then I write. My whole world is consumed by the comics, by these characters. And I think we should end on that because I feel like I'm about to spiral. I'm also struggling, okay? I see a lot of comics with big bubble speech but small text. Comics and novels can be very different structurally, I think. Yep, true, because in novels you have to explain things with words, while in comics you can do it visually. Yep. Yeah, you want the text to be big enough to read or know about, but not too large that it's off-putting, and delicate balance. Damn, you guys think so much about these things. At this point, I feel like it comes second nature to me now with like social media comics. Maybe because I've been doing it a lot. Do you know what I struggle with like dialogue and social media, like speech bubbles? I struggle with the fucking UI a lot. So you know how like Instagram and YouTube, your UIs are always on this side? I can never put any dialogues along this side because the fucking UI gets blocked, the chat bubbles get blocked, and I cannot put anything past this point on YouTube, Instagram, anything, right? Because this is always the descriptions and the UI of whatever common type shit is always under here. So I would say there is a formula to making social media comics where it's super readable. You know, the dialogue lands, the comic lands in like Because you also got to make it short, right? You got to make it like 5 panels. If you make it too long, people lose interest. There is an art to making social media comics, for sure. And to convey a mini gag moment or scene in 5-ish panels, because 10 might be too much, is also insane. But yeah, I'm learning now to make social media comics more than webtoon type comics. I don't believe my path was to make a webtoon comic ever. I've always kind of disliked the rigidness of a webtoon layout where it only reads well on like a scrolling format, because not every social media out there works like that, right? They usually do swipes, so it's better to do it in carousel or something, and then the format has to be right and stuff like that. But yeah, 19 days. I learned a lot from making social media comics from 19 days from old scene. 19 days comics, because they've been doing it for so long, right? It's almost 10 years their comics have run. And it's yaoi, okay? I don't know what to tell you, but these are my idols, okay? And this is how, like, I don't know how to explain it, okay? This person is doing dialogue. They don't have dialogues on their comics at this point. They can actually show an entire comic without dialogues, and that's fucking insane to me, because I can't do that. Because to me, I mean, the perks of not having dialogues in your comics is that anyone who can't read the language can understand the comic. You lose middleman translations. You lose people just like taking your comics and translating without your consent and stuff like that. It's beautiful. So going forward, I would like BLT Academy to also be on Webtoon, but I would only work on it in like a social media art style like this, like a social media comic art style like this, where it's just like 2 panels max, maybe 3 panels max, but it's just like, if I can have no dialogues, even better, right? And there's just like a lot of actions and just things going on, and short. It's short. That's the main important thing. I think they always do like max like 8 panels to convey a scene or a story. And the quality of the art is so high. Okay, I don't even get me started on the art. And the expressions are so good. They can convey everything without emotions, without dialogues. And I think I'm gonna put my foot down. Okay, I'm gonna put my foot down, and I think this is the way comics should go. Sorry to you guys that are stuck with webtoon and whatnot, but I will truly believe social media comics are just better like that. Like if you can make it like fit, cropped into a neat social media panel, because how else are you gonna get your shit out there? Because webtoon isn't promoting it. Webtoon is promoting none, right? So the only other way to get yourself out there is through social media, and it has worked for me. Like, just this like comic alone, I don't know. I didn't think it could get that big, right? It's literally just like, how many panels? 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 panels and a meme, right? And I got like I don't know what happened. I got like 2K views on this. I got almost 300 likes. I don't usually get that much likes. I usually get an average like 40 likes, 50 on average, 100 on a good day, and this one low-key blew up. It's like not even the canon story. It's just like a little mini gag comic, right? So again, this is what's happening right now with me and with my relationship with comics. I'm not trying to make them webtoons anymore, because I've never liked webtoon. And if you've seen Dear Alice, right, I never followed the traditional route at all as well. Social media comics, guys, 2 panels a page, make it fit in the format. Oh, sorry. You guys saw the waist grab. two panels, two panels a page. It works. And minimal, I mean, I can't speak for the dialogues. That's up to you. But hopefully you get to that point, like the artists, where you don't need dialogues, right? That's like everyone's wet dream. You don't need a middleman, you don't need a translator. The story just goes because your art is that insane. So, I don't know what came. I was so ready to leave the stream. I don't know what happened. Today is a whirlwind of emotions. Oops. Also, hi, Artsy. Oh, you asked me how to start a webtoon, and I was just thinking about fuck webtoon. Guys. If you already started a webtoon, there are a lot of videos that I made on this channel on how to make a good webtoon, right? But in my opinion, after working on webtoon for so long, try social media comics. It works. You get instant engagement. You get people actually responding to the comics. And it's on your social media and you get to grow a following. Not True fucking Webtoon, the goddamn company that won't ever like bat an eye on your comic or doesn't even bother to promote like the canvas creators or whatnot. So just do the right hashtags, be able to tell a story in 2 panels, keep it quick, keep it nice and snappy, right? Color it, whatever, add a nice little music to it, have a story in 8 panels, and yeah, I think going forward, this has to be the way, because I don't trust comic platforms anymore. The nice thing about doing it this way as well is you can later also put it on Webtoon just the same. You can also like make it a scrolling format, right? Like you can edit this to make it Webtoon friendly. But again, this is just my own opinion because I've worked on comics on Webtoon for, at this point, I don't know, 8 years, right? And I just feel Webtoon doesn't care. And it's hard to promote my comics from my Webtoons because they don't fit social media standards. They're not social media friendly, they run too long. I can't explain everything in like 5 panels. But imagine if you started working on your comics thinking, okay, if I were to make this a social media post in 8 panels, and I keep it to like 3 updates, right? Maybe I post the first part on Monday, I post the second part on Wednesday, I post the third part on Friday. Not only does that boost your algorithm, that also boosts your engagement, that also tells the algorithm you're posting constantly, let me boost you as well. Done there, done. So this is my advice for today, a suggestion. Doesn't apply to everyone, but that's just how I'm seeing the comic game right now, okay? Social media comics. I always believed in them. They're a bit shallow because you don't know what kind of viewers you get. At least with Webtoon, you get focused viewers, right? That's great. So post both. So do both. Share on social media. Make it social media shareable, friendly. People can share to their friends. Hee hee ha ha. And then you have the deep readers that are like, I need more. Do you have a Webtoon? I will literally make an account on Webtoon to go read the story in linear form. Then you have the best of both worlds. That's just it. Anyway, let me go through chat once more and then I'll probably have to leave. I think hook first, storytelling might be because of TikTok. Old stories seem to start with characters starting situation and not the conflict immediately. For sure. And that's why I was really surprised when I wrote my novel with the hook first, and my novel readers actually prefer the slow burn first. And I was like, huh, That's not how it works on social media. So I had to learn this balance between writing the novel in like a more linear, slower way compared to like making comics where it always starts with like the hook. Get into it fast because people are gonna lose attention. Shit like that. So yeah. It has nuances. Everything has nuances. Attention spans are shorter now. Yeah, it's sad. 10 years and only this year we get to see more Heetian and Mo getting spicy, right? 10 years, but this artist has made great strides. Can you imagine a comic lasting for 10 years? It's unbelievable, if you ask me. I think this author is truly a test of times where, you know, if you do it right, you have enough experience, you can make things last as long as you want. You just gotta do it right. Like, do you know how hard it is to keep someone interested in you for more than 10 years? Guys, it's like, say it how you will about this story and like how lightly it's like, oh, they don't even care about the main characters anymore. And I don't blame him. I don't blame this person, this author, because they've changed so much in the last 10 years. They probably don't even care about this comic anymore, but they still work on it. And if they're gonna work on it, I might as well draw the things I want to see, which is the side characters instead of the main characters, if that's what they prefer, right? I don't blame them. Like, it's been 10 years. Bruh, so much time has passed. Start with the story, proxy, write a page paragraph of the story you want to tell, and continue from there. True. Instagram UI is really good and easy to use, plus you can add music for sure. Also, Artsy said, I don't know how to have the courage to post my art. Boya used to struggle with this, and look at Boya now. I like to use Boya as the testimony. But I think it's good to start posting art on like a Discord first, like a community, just to see the reactions from there. If you like, I have an art Discord, link in the description. It's my Art Gen Discord. We draw together every weekend. And yeah, if you want to test out like your art, you don't have the courage to post on social media to the bigger audience yet. Try it on a smaller community like Discord and see what kind of reactions you get and see what people say. Swiping left to right is easier for me. It's why I love Instagram. I see. It's these little things, right? I main Instagram right now, unfortunately. Even though I feel Instagram is worse off with the algorithm ever, it just doesn't push your content as much if you're not doing what they want. So it's a bit shallow over here. And of course, they prioritize human faces more than art at this point, right? But I don't have as much luck on X because X is more fandom based. And YouTube is a hit or miss for me. And Facebook actually is looking pretty good, but Facebook only works if I post to groups and then redirect groups to my page. That's my solution to Facebook. Damn, I'm throwing out advices left and right. Fuck yeah, let's go. But yeah, that's just my opinion from doing social media for the past year. Human eyes naturally move horizontally, but swiping vertical is because of phones. I have no problem with webtoon scrolling formats actually. It's just not that friendly for social media because when I tried to crop roommates from social media, I was losing my shit. So, like, there is no fixed pattern, right? So, in this instance, when I made Dear Alice, I was like, let's do it panels made for social media and then lined it up as a scrolling format for webtoon. And it was mind-changing. It changed my world, okay? Working on panels first and then deciding how to put it on webtoon changed my life because, yeah. Because now I get to do it on social media and on webtoon. And you don't lose out on much, personally, so yeah. Discord, let me just send you the link, no problem. Let me send you the invite link. there you go. Feel free to join us and draw with us if you like. But yeah, I have to go. I'll just answer Boya one last time. IDK, but I find Webtoon app a bit overwhelming. Not a fan of scrolling down to. Yeah, it's a hit or miss for people, right? I personally don't mind it. I quite like the scrolling format. But again, not fun for social media. Not good to share on social media. So yeah, it sucks. Also, choosing the right music for Instagram posts helps too. Not always, Boya. I find that you can go for really popular music and it doesn't do the same. I think music is like, helps you 20%. The 80% is content and posting time and the hashtags and the community and the niche. Anyway, there's a lot that goes through social media comics. Maybe I'll make a video someday about how to post, how to get on social media comics. But I feel like I'm not big enough to be able to like make a video about it. Maybe someday though. But yeah. I rely on music way too much too. It's fun. Posting time too. Yep, for sure. These things play a huge role. And on that note, I have to go, guys. God, you guys kept making me talk. Jeez, I've been yapping for half an hour overtime, guys. But yeah, this is what we did today. This is all we did today. We did masking today. Just did some masking. I haven't even colored it. Just black ass masking. And I'm gonna go now, okay? Thank you guys for joining. I had fun talking to you guys. I was able to vent a bit, and that was nice too. So yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday for Art Jam as usual, and I'll see you guys next week, same time. I'll be here. So be square, be fair, whatever. Bye bye. Oh, he didn't show up on stream today. I totally forgot about him. But yeah, he says bye. Bye bye.